and a lot of times he can catch his opponents off guard early on. So I don't know. I like that we're starting off on Circuit Breaker. It should give us an opportunity to like really figure out the way that both of these players want to play this matchup.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm ready. If we're ready.
I am as well. Hopefully you guys out there are ready for Yeti versus g0rynich here in our elimination match. All right, here we are, spawning onto Circuit Breaker. In the bottom left-hand corner, this is g0rynich, our red Zerg player.
And in the top left, we've got the Polish, pretty sure he's Polish Protoss Yeti. I want to point out, already 10 seconds into the game, we already have a difference from the game with TT1. Look at the scout pattern from g0rynich. I like this. I like how people mix up their scouting where you cannot just, you know, like I was talking about how Protoss players search those mid bases to see where overlords are coming. You can't do that versus a guy like this. So that I love this play from g0rynich. Always mixing it up.
Yeah, for sure. The it's what's more remarkable is that he mixes it up and is successful most of the time in his scouting patterns. So yeah, he's gonna get out there. Scout after pylon for Yeti is also scouting in the correct direction. So this is gonna be really good information for him. Probably able to keep that probe alive for a while, because we are gonna see where is this drone off to? What are we up to here? I'm still waiting for this Overlord to come out to find out exactly how economic g0rynich wants to play this.
Yeah, so we do have a pool coming down for him, an 11 pool. And meanwhile, Yeti gonna go for the Forge expand, not gonna have a Gateway expand from him. Not gonna keep up the pressure like TT1 constantly put onto Yeti. And we're gonna have to see where he goes from here. Yeti, again, in the NA versus EU matchup, pulled out a 1-base Reaver. Now that's not necessarily, that can't happen here, but it is potential. He could go for some kind of weird build. Doesn't necessarily mean we're gonna have Citadel first like TT1 pulled out every single game. We are gonna have to wait and see what tech. Oh, this drone, is it gonna die? No. But regardless, that probe did a good job blocking the hatchery. May even pylon block it.
He's coming back in, trying for it. I was a little bit worried about that, but oh my god, dude, I just need a. Oh wow, oh my god. Okay, that was a little bit unfair for the probe. I feel like that block should have come through, but anyway, the miracle drone does finally build the hatchery, maybe a little bit delayed there. I haven't seen too much overpooling in ZVP, so I'm not totally used to exactly where that puts g0rynich here. But he is going to get gas after, so let's see, those Overlord pool hatch gas coming out, and eventually he'll be able to push this probe away. So we'll find out exactly what direction he wants to go from here.
Yeah, this looks pretty standard right now, about a 230-ish gas for g0rynich. Yeti's probe still alive, does see it. Now here's that drone. It is taking a mineral only, of course. Yeti doesn't see this now because we have the third base here. This is most likely going to be a Hydra bus, and as opposed to a split base play. Oh, you got to keep that probe alive. Ooh, it's so low.
It is actually really low. Usually it would take a lot more than just 2 lings to force out a probe, but he's doing a really good job getting these extra free hits off on it. Meanwhile, on the other side, this is the true unfairness of PvZ. How much does the Zerg player have to micro the Overlord, Nyokin?
Oh, yeah, they have to micro it so much. You see what he's doing right there?
Yeah.
That's a lot of... You know, I don't remember how you can do this, but if like you hit stop or something where the Overlord like spins in a circle, you know what I'm talking about? Maybe you don't.
Yeah. Well, it's always weird to see. Maybe if you're playing this game in Australia, it spins the opposite direction, Nyokin.
Oh yes, that's true. I'll have to pay attention to that next time if when I'm watching a stream, if it's an Australian player. We'll have to see if it spins. Are there even any Australian players that played in
We got our boy Legionnaire holding it down.
Oh, of course, Legionnaire. But other than him, I can't think of any Australian players in BSL.
Yeah, I guess like, oh, in BSL, no, certainly not. I didn't even see any Australian players on the BSL ladder, for that matter. So yeah, they're a rare breed out there. I saw Moonglade played on stream maybe like a month or two ago, but I think he has like a real job. So yeah, it's hard to find those Aussie players. Are there any other like down? I guess actually. The water spins the opposite direction in Peru, and there are plenty of Peruvian players.
Yeah, so we'll have to pay attention
All right.
to those Zerg players from down there.
But yes, all that to say, I know what you mean. The spinning is, it gets a little bit out of control sometimes.
Yeah.
That was a long, little bit of a long tangent. Zealot's gonna get in, but I think the Zergling should be able to take it out.
Yeah, now this probe did see the Spire. Zealot got in and did nothing. But overall, everything standard so far, even Yeti playing standard. He went Stargate. He's going to get a Sare out pretty fast. Oh, wow, he built the Dragoon. Now he's going to get this Overlord, and you don't see this often to build a Dragoon. I wonder if we're going to... Oh, no, they can't get caught.
Well, you're going to lose the Dragoon. You can't put a Dragoon out there and expect not to have Zerglings like come kill it. Like, it's just so overextended. He's trying to surround it. I think inevitably, yeah, it's just going to go down. So that's not the greatest to trade a Dragoon for an Overlord. Maybe he can actually come out and save it. I don't think so, though. He has no other units.
Yeah, so he is going to lose the Dragoon. It did supply block
Wait.
G0rynich a little bit. He's still microing the Lings. It's not that bad because at least it let the Zealot get all the way across the map. And if he can get some implied economic damage, even with just a drone pull, that's a pretty good trade. We're even going to get an Overlord with this here. So we're going to get 2 Overlords. And behind it, we've got Citadel already down for Yeti. Now, what is Yeti? Oh, okay, we've got +1 armor coming out for g0rynich. Does that... I wonder if he's going to go Mutas off of this. Of course, you get +1 armor to deal with Sares, but this seems so fast.
Yeah.
This could be also Mutas.
Well, he's getting missile upgrades, so I'm guessing it's still going to be Hydras. But you're right, that is it's kind of an odd upgrade timing. You know, I was actually worried, Nyokin, that we were going to see him kill off that Dragoon and run the Lings in to kill those 2 cannons, because there were 0 units protecting those. And if you can just get on top of them, they die so fast. So he didn't go for that, but that was maybe an opportunity.
Yeah, but regardless, that was a good pick off for him. He did lose the Overlord, unfortunately. Also did take a bit of damage from those Zealots. It's kind of a little bit surprising, but it does look like we're going to have a big Hydra bust. We've got 5 hatch, we've got +1 weapon pretty soon. What is Yeti going for? Okay, everything's still standard so far, banking up those Corsairs. Most likely going to go for that big +2, 150-ish supply Dragoon timing.
Yeah, I would definitely say that we're going to have the opportunity to get up to a big macro game. Honestly, g0rynich's macro has not seemed incredible. Like, you expect the Zerg player to be down a lot in supply in the matchups, but it gets a little bit scary sometimes, especially when it comes to his ability to fight and fend off another attack somewhere else at the same time. So let's keep an eye on how this is going to go, because for Yeti, he has shown that maybe it's hard for him to get 3rd bases up, but sometimes he can just go across the map and kill you instead. We saw TT1 kind of be a good example of that. So I want to find out what direction we're going to go, because right now we just see both players in macro.
Yeah, it looks like we may be getting a fast 3rd base from Yeti pretty soon. Thought he was going to go for a big timing. Oh, he probably is now that I see the cybernetics core spinning. But we have a DT out. It's going to try and find some damage out on the map, probably when the game gets chaotic. And I like that Yeti's building these preemptive Templars, going to start banking energy already. Probably get up to even 2 or 3 storms by the time he wants to attack. Now, but what can this DT do? It's trying to find an opening, but g0rynich already tight everywhere. Oh, g0rynich almost has lurker upgrades already done, so this could be quite scary for Yeti. If g0rynich can set up a contain, it's just so hard to bust out of a tiny choke like you have on Circuit Breaker, overlooking on the platform, outside of the bridges. Very punishing.
Yeah, and it's easy to say that you know, we're airtight on the Zerg side, but this is 7 Corsairs. That's a lot. Now, it's not a lot if you run into Scourge and Hydras, but it's a lot if you can find any Overlords out of position, because you can just run in, mow them down, and like for instance on the third base, you just run down there. There's 3 Scourge, and that's it. So absolutely a great opportunity for Yeti if he can find that vulnerability.
Yeah, he'll just start mowing down Overlords, and here comes the Gateway Flood from Yeti. He's got 2 more going down. Pylons are set up in a position where I expect a couple more. No, you see a probe moving out with these Zealots and Templars. Probably going to be putting down that Nexus pretty soon. That's pretty surprising because he's got range almost done on his Cybernetics, but we don't have any Dragoons out.
Yeah, it's kind of always interesting to get the range upgrade. Sometimes that's something that Protoss players just kind of do on autopilot. Just like, well, I'm going to need this. Well, maybe not if you don't have any units that can use it. I'm sure eventually he's going to have Dragoons, but right now it is all Zealot Templar.
Yep, and he did lose a 130 energy Templar there, so that's a big pick-off for g0rynich. I'm getting worried because g0rynich supply is exploding. The Sares, we have 7 Sares, but the amount of kills they've gotten, really not that many. That's going to make the ground army that much weaker for g0rynich, and we don't have the Dragoon support for these Zealots. And we know Lurker's going to be coming pretty soon. I think that this third base might get canceled. There's Lurkers here, so they're just going to chew through these Zealots pretty easily.
Yeah, he's got Overlord speed as well, so he could actually just snipe this Observer. There's only 1 Obs here. So you kill that Observer, and all of a sudden these Lurkers are just total impunity, but, okay. So that was really bad from g0rynich. He ran in, all his Hydras exploded, and now he's going to lose everything.
Well, he got the Observer just like you talked about, and now these 2 Lurkers are going to push back the cell, but the third base is exposed. g0rynich is sending more units across the map. There's only 3 Dragoons. If he can get 3-5 Lurkers all together, it's going to be so hard. Oh, wow. Yeti might catch this army out of position.
I think he is. Yeah, catching these reinforcements and taking them out with these Zealots and a couple of Dragoons. That's going to mean that these Corsairs can actually just run across the map and catch the Overlords. No Overlords mean 1 DT comes out? How are you going to deal with that? There's no detection with this army for g0rynich.
Yeah, but look at g0rynich army. Holy moly, there's so many Hydras.
He just lost so many Hydras, and he has so many more. How do you do that? A couple of Overlords do find their way in here. If he wants to run back and kill them, I think there's this is pretty holdable from Yeti. But he is going to have to sack that third base, and so that's mission accomplished from g0rynich in the long run.
Yeah, and g0rynich is probably going to go for a killing blow. There's not really many cannons here. Zealots are going to be funneling out one at a time. You're going to have Lurker Wall. There's only 1 Templar, doesn't have Storm. So g0rynich trying to end it right here.
And he actually absolutely can. Does he have 0 Storm? Yeah, there's no Storm energy. Oh my god. This is such a sick attack. There's the Corsairs also dwindled to a number where they're not going to come back. There's no DTs here, even if they were able to kill the Overlord. So this is just going to be so many Hydras coming in and taking out everything that Yeti has.
Yeah, there's just so many Hydras. There's no Observer. I mean, there is at the mineral line of the Nat, but he doesn't recognize it. So the Lurkers could even just come in here and shut down everything. But it doesn't even matter. There's just flat out so many Hydras.
Especially when he ungrows these Lurkers and repositions them. This is just going to be game over. GG Yeti taps out, and g0rynich is able to take him out in game 1.
So g0rynich macroing like a madman. He macroed all day really nicely, and that timing definitely really strong. I'm surprised he made those 2 Lurkers 5 Hydras work and deny the third base. It looked amazing for Yeti.
It really did. I think the biggest thing for me that surprised that game is that we didn't really have that much interaction between either player. We didn't have a whole lot of just slugging it out in the middle. But finally, when the attack came from g0rynich, just so many Hydras. What's remarkable about Zerg is that usually they're down in supply, right? And then they bust out with just so many Hydras, and then they remax almost instantly. And I'm just like, what? Wait, I just killed all your units. How do you have this many more units? It's really rough if you can't keep your High Templar alive. And the Yeti lost a bunch of really clutch High Templar there. some with a lot of energy. So that was a little bit rough, but congratulations to g0rynich for taking game number 1. It's not over yet. Still got more games left to come in the series. So I think game number 2 is going to be on Sylphid, if I'm not mistaken.
We're in the way of an eddy. Oh,
okay, it is
Sylphid, but we're in the way of an eddy. So
wait, what? Okay, all right. I guess the map is eddy, so there it is. All right, so it is going to be eddy. That's our second map. I was slightly mistaken. You guys didn't see anything. Zero is like the Polish version of those like 3 penguins from Madagascar.
The 3 penguins from Madagascar. I'm gonna have to Google it.
Wait, have you not seen Madagascar, Nyoken?
No.
Do you not watch movies made for 8-year-olds?
No, I don't. I don't watch movies.
Oh my god.
In general.
Are you gonna watch the new it's like how to Train Your Dragon movie that's coming out? I was talking with
now just for you.
I was talking to Artosis the other day, and it's always interesting because obviously he has a bunch of kids, so he's like, yeah, I'm just gonna go see all these kids movies, and me and Tastes are just like that. I will never watch that movie. Sorry, my dude. Like it's not gonna happen. He's like, you should come watch it with the family. I'm like, no, I'm not 8 years old anymore. Sorry. A little bit of a generational gap there, by the way. So, all right, we're ready to go into Eddy.
Yep, I'm ready.
Sick. Okay, so this is game number 2. Our elimination match, back up against the wall. Can Yeti hang on? We're ready for Yeti on Eddy.
Oh my gosh.
I did it. Made it work. I forced it. Okay. So here, in game number 2, spawning in the bottom right-hand corner in the purple, as Zerg is our Russian player g0rynich.
And in the top left, we got Polish Protoss. It is Yeti. And I like how you said there's a generational gap because Artosis has kids. I think even without kids, there might be a generational gap because Artosis is just so old.
It defies logic. It's like, you know how like a lot of like witches or hags or crones or whatever in mythology, right? They appear young, but it's only because they're like, bathing the blood of virgins or something like that. But then once you deny that to them, they start to like decay, and you realize, uh-oh, it's not this young, beautiful person. It's actually this old, terrible, horrible. That's Artosis. Like when you pull off the mask, when you take off the makeup. But I'll tell you, my favorite moment is watching Artosis go into makeup, because it's just like it's the biggest transformation. Like those reality shows where they have like the extreme makeover or whatever. I get to see that every day at GSL and ASL. Like it's just the most extreme makeover ever. It's also like tuning into Artosis' stream for his first game versus his last game. That's a transformation for you.
I see. Obviously I'm not there, so I haven't seen it, but I want to see it. We need to have behind the scenes at GSL.
I'll get some BTS shots for everybody. And I don't mean that terrible K-pop band.
Yeah, we gotta get it. We used to have stuff like Artosis did, like maybe not behind the scenes at GSL, but you remember the Eastro videos that he used to do?
Oh God, yeah.
Videos.
No, so what you do is you go to Artosis TV on YouTube and you sort by date, and then you scroll all the way down. It's a gold mine. Let me put it that way.
Yeah, those videos are classic.
Okay, well so finally we see g0rynich scouting incorrectly. I'm glad that there is actually justice. He actually once again drone scouted and did not find anything here, so he's really trying to find out exactly where Yeti is spawned. Overlord scout, drone scout, and he hasn't done it yet. So it's about the worst case scenario if you want early information. But it's the best case scenario for Yeti, because he is going to be able to get this Forge expand up safe and sound.
Yeah, and g0rynich playing very similar to last game. He's going to be having about a 230 gas. We've got 2 hatch. Trying to figure out where... Oh, there's no drone out on the map. Okay, is it going to die? It's going to die.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
So now he's going to have to send out another one, and it's going to take a while for him to get into any base really to take a hatchery. So this third base or third hatch is going to be pretty delayed because of how long it would take to get to another main. I expect him to take mid right. Yeah, it's gonna be
yeah, that would definitely make sense. You kind of want to expand away from your opponent, but it looks like he is actually just going to go for the standard third here. Okay, this could be really rough if he doesn't see what the follow-up is across the map. Obviously, losing that scouting drone really hurts when he was going for such early information. So now for Yeti, we get a chance to figure out what he wants to go for. He went up to 7 Corsairs in that last game and didn't really get that much damage done with them. So maybe not wanting to invest so much in the air this time around.
Yeah, it didn't really work out for him. I think he only got like maybe 1 Overlord kill in the early game. So that's quite the commitment. You could see it in the amount of units he had when he went to take the third base. Just really not many Zealots. Now, this game, Yeti, he's not gotten into the main of g0rynich, so he's in the dark. I'm not sure if he even sees mid-right. This probe has kind of just been patrolling back and forth out in no man's land. What is g0rynich's follow-up going to be? We don't see a Hydra Den coming down. We see Lair, so it's most likely just going to be standard Spire play, but Yeti doesn't know that. He needs to figure out what's going on. Otherwise, if he goes for the wrong build order, he's going to, get countered pretty easily.
Yeah, it's always sad to watch those games. We've actually had quite a few of them in STPL. In BSL, we kind of avoid those, where one player goes for the build and the other player goes for the counter to it. It's, well, there you go. But today, at least, we've kind of avoided those as well. So, crossing my fingers, hoping that we can that we won't see that again. Here comes the Scouting Zealot. This is a nice litmus test for are you being honest. He gets this drone. That would actually be a tragedy. Ooh, nice control.
Yeah, Zealot trying to get in the back. Oh, okay, this is a great position to be able to take as good of a... Oh, that's out the link through the other side of the minerals!
No way! I had no idea you could do that. How is that even possible, man? Those Zerg's arms are getting longer every day.
Yeah, that's something that only happens to Artosis. Nobody gets as unlucky as Artosis does. I watch his stream. Everything goes wrong for him, but that did not work out for Yeti. And meanwhile, back in Yeti, a really fast Templar Archive again. This is looking identical to last game where he's rushing a couple Templars out. And I really hope we don't see 7 Sayers, but we might.
If he goes for 7 Corsairs and it out at the same time his opponent is going for mass Hydra play, which is I guess what we should see. It's not like nothing like 973 or something like that. We are still going to see the Spire, but I could definitely catch him off guard. And it's always hard to try the Sair DT style against an opponent that knows it's coming. So I haven't seen if g0rynich has any information about that yet, but he is going to have at least the Spire to hold off.
Yeah, he had the Overlord in the main. I think that the Overlord died maybe to a different Corsair.
Yes.
Yeah, it has 1 kill. So it saw how fast the Templar Archive is. So he's going to know that it's most likely going to be an initial DT with a bunch of Templar behind it, bank up that energy. He'll be able to respond appropriately. Meanwhile, this is the real first scout. Oh my gosh. Sair gets intercepted, but this was the real first scout Yeti got into the main.
Mm-hmm. And so he's going to see that, yes, there is things to intercept it, but he didn't get an incredible amount of info there.
Yeti, we have 4 gates or 5 gates for him. Everything looks basically the same as last game. We even have range being upgraded. There's the 2 Templar or 1 Templar coming out for him. Really a low unit count for him because he's teching so hard and putting down all those gateways. But that's letting... Oh, there's that DT. Somehow it got in. There's nothing here. Oh, that's unlucky.
Oh my god, look at how much it's glitching out. Are you kidding me?
Today is just not Yeti's day. Like, everything has gone wrong for him. Like, the Lings. I mean, that's like the dream situation for you. You have drones. There's no Sunken. There's no Lings. Like, what? And then it just insta-dies. I mean, it did get 3 drone kills. But realistically, you're looking for like 7, 8 in a situation like that.
Like, it's... I want to, man, that DT is gonna get fired from his job. That's like the worst. I mean, workers are good, man. That's the lesson I'm learning there. It's like it doesn't matter if you don't have any units there. You just kill it with drones. Some solid advice there. But wow, that was a really amazing hold, considering how devastating it usually is when a DT gets into an unprotected base. And now, g0rynich knows, hey, I've held off the Corsair, the DT, and now maybe it's time to look towards dealing a bunch of damage as soon as these Hydra upgrades finish. Oh, he's getting drop as well, so that could be good.
Oh, that's not, you don't see that often. I don't necessarily think this is going to be to kill Yeti. This is probably going to take one of the middle bases. Well, he could even take both. Most likely he's going to take bottom middle. And it's not like Protoss really gets a shuttle at this point in the game, so it will be a safe fourth base. So I do like this play. And I like Yeti's style this game. We're not going for the fast third base. We're going to play safe this time. We're just going to get our 7 or 8 gates. We're going to build up that big, huge timing attack. And we've got these Templar out for a long time. They're banking quite a lot of energy. So that'll make it a lot safer to take a third base this time around.
Yeah, it is going to be safer, but I don't know. I feel like my calls have been a little bit off when it comes to if it's safe to take a third base, because it has not been a good day for third bases. Let me just put it that way. So we'll see. But for Yeti, yeah, it should be pretty safe at this point. And for g0rynich, like, yeah, sure, he's got his third base up. He's got his 5 hatches. That is 5 hatches, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. 6 hatches, actually. Okay, I'm glad I recounted that. So when he explodes with Hydras here, that is just going to be insanity macro. You know, for a long time, it was just like 2, 3, or 5 hatches. Those are the only numbers you were allowed. But we figured out, like, just in the last few years that, yes, you can go up to 6 and just hold that Hydra key down as much as you want. And now, this might be Yeti walking into a little bit of a trap here.
Well, he's had great storms. Oh, he cannot get these picked off. Well, I thought those Hydra were going to come from the back. But he does have to be careful. Oh, no!
That's a nice couple of storms, but he does get one of the High Templar picked off there. Let's see how many storms he has left. 1, 2, 3, 4, almost 5. So he should have enough to take these Hydras out. Oh, great storms. Oh, my God, these storms from Yeti. So good.
Oh, these are perfect storms. And now g0rynich's supply has plummeted. But you got to remember that this is 6 hatch Hydra. He's got a ton of production. What? g0rynich gonna hold this?
Wait, what? I feel like he lost all of his units.
Well, somehow g0rynich held this despite Yeti having 7 gate. He's gonna kill almost the entire army, and he's gonna have reinforcement advantage. So this was a nice, well, I thought it was a nice hold, but I look at supply 65 to 85. Maybe Yeti can bust through. I don't think there's enough support with these 4 Zealots and 4 Dragoons.
Yeah, oh man, he saved the High Templar. That's the most worrying thing. If these High Templars get off another round of storms, that can actually be really difficult. But here we go, coming in for the flank attempt here. Probably going to be able to take out these High Templars. Oh, actually, wow, it does get that other storm off. That's a big deal, but still should be a hold here for g0rynich.
Yeah, g0rynich cleaning it up pretty easily. Even gets all the Templars except one, may even get this one. So those are huge losses for Yeti, but he does have his third base up. But what I'm most worried about now is we don't have any AoE damage. We're just now starting to rebuild Templar. That means they're not going to have any energy to deal with any sort of counterattack from g0rynich. And if I'm g0rynich at this point, that's exactly what I think about doing.
Yeah, totally. I think for g0rynich, I guess he has a couple of options, but no, I agree. That's probably just the direction you want to go. In the meantime, he is finding time to drone up a little bit more, and then yeah, should be looking for another base. The drop is to be able to take out the NORAD 2, which is Edmund Drake's battlecruiser, if I'm not mistaken. That was one of the theories for why this is called Eddie, because those battlecruisers belong to Edmund. It's Edmund Drake, right? I'm not up on my lore, but I think so.
Edmund
Duke.
Yeah,
I played too much Just Cause. That's where
I don't think that's the reasoning though, because an eddy is like a
river, right?
or something. Yeah, so if you look at how the pathways to the middle are set up, they're kind of like in a whirlpool pattern, right? So I think that's what it is.
Yeah, I think for g0rynich, I guess he has a couple of options, but no, I agree. That's probably just the direction you want to go. In the meantime, he is finding time to drone up a little bit more, and then yeah, should be looking for another base. The drop is to be able to take out the NORAD 2, which is Edmund Drake's battlecruiser. That was one of the theories for why this is called Eddie, because those battlecruisers belong to Edmund. I've heard a lot of like conspiracy theories for why it could be there. That was just one thing. But it's a nice way to take a 4th base. It's about as safe as it gets until the Protoss find some way to get to a drop of their own. And I don't think I've seen any shuttles just yet, so probably going to be safe for a while.
Yeah, but at least he did see bottom middle go down. The observer did get a glimpse of it, so that's probably going to trigger a shuttle pretty soon. But Yeti looking to attack again. Supplies not that far in favor of him, so it's going to be difficult for him to make something happen. But he does have that 4th base going, so everything's going pretty good for him so far. Unlike every other game, he's gotten his econ going. It's just been unlucky all day for Yeti, but this game is going pretty well. He's still got map control at this point, so 4th base is pretty safe. I think he's just going to push in here and back off. I don't see this working. How many lurkers is this? This is 15 lurkers. It's just bananas.
Oh my god. This lurker spread is so sick. Yeah, you're not going to make it in there. He's going to try, though, running these zealots through this lurker field. That is not going to work out. Losing so many zealots here. The Zergling's coming through as well. Is he going to pick off this High Templar? Oh my god. At least forces out the storm.
He did get a shuttle unload to bottom middle. That means this hatchery is most likely going to die. So this is a nice pickoff from him. Zerg is only on 3 base. Protoss is on 4. So this is looking very nice for Yeti so far. I see that Hive Tech has completed for g0rynich. We've got Ling upgrades coming in. I don't know if we have Adrenaline yet. It does not look like we have Adrenaline, and it's not upgrading in. Oh, it just started in the spawning pool.
A nice counter here at the 3rd base, though. Will it be able to take the Nexus out? Probably not. Okay, wow, those Hydras just attack really fast. Oh, just barely able to kill it with the last 3 Hydras. So that was actually a really nice snipe. Nice counter damage done on the other side.
Yeah, nice pick off from g0rynich. I don't think it's really going to affect Yeti that much. He instantly put it back up. He didn't lose any units there. He didn't lose any Storm, any Templar, anything. So he still has map control. He doesn't have to worry. I hear g0rynich loading up some Overlords, but where are they going to head off to? It looks like we're just going to try and save bottom middle. Or retake bottom middle.
Yeah, yeah, he's just going to go retake that. I was going to say maybe you just like leave that base there and then go take the bases on the upper side of the map where he's getting his 5th base. But I guess he does actually just want to keep that safe for now. Maybe put some Scourge around there to make it harder to get that shuttle in next time.
Yeah, no, Yeti still has
map
control.
Oh, he's going to lose that Overlord with 2 lurkers in it? No way! Wow, a nice save.
He does manage to save it, but Yeti's going to take a 5th base. g0rynich still trying to get a 4th and 5th up. But Yeti, this is the point in the game I find the hardest for Protoss, is you have this Gateway army. It's pretty strong, but you know that Zerg's hitting Hive Tech pretty soon. I'm trying to check. Okay, there we go. Yeti with double robotics. We've got Reavers coming out. This is exactly what I would like to see him do. Mix in those big power Reavers, and he's going to even shut down top right. So g0rynich still on 3 base at this point.
Adrenaline is just now finished up, so that could definitely mean this drop tech is going to be used to just drop into the middle of a base, and we can watch it die. But we just watched that 5th base die, so that was it's going to be hard to see g0rynich deal damage like that.
g0rynich dropped 2 lurkers at bottom left behind the minerals of Yeti, but Yeti had instant reaction. I think only lost maybe like 1 or 2 probes there, so that was perfect from him. g0rynich is taking top right. Again, Yeti's army is really good. We got 2 on upgrades, but look at the supplies, 160 to 140. This is always scary for Protoss to be this close in supply. g0rynich is even taking bottom middle, but here comes that first shuttle with Reavers mixed in. This could be exactly what Yeti needs to break through this huge lurker field.
Yeah, Reavers are going to give him like the force of inevitability on his side. Also, if he hits these big clump of Lings, oh my god, this is not going to go well. He's going to try to get this concave, but look at these storms. Oh my god, melting the Lings before they can even hit. That's like 20 supply of Zerglings just evaporating before they can even hit. And now, scourging the shuttle. One Scourge hits, the other does not. Wait, did he?
Oh my! With the Reaver, it was. No. Yeah, it was Steph Curry from downtown, but the Reavers.
One of the Reavers does go down, the other one stays alive. Shuttle gets taken out, so maybe that'll make that Reaver a little bit more vulnerable. But damn, that is just so much supply just subliminating. It goes from solid to gas without hitting that liquid phase in between. Although there was a ton of blood there, so Yeti is just really killing it at this point. Nice snipe there. That was really good from Gordon. He's doing the utmost. Yeah.
Yeah, this army is decent for Yeti, but other than, I mean, it's tiny. Like, you look at the Reaver and the Templars, what else really is there to support? It's like one control group. Where is Yeti's supply? I'm trying to find it. Oh, wow, Lurkers on the left side of the map. Again at bottom left, shutting down this mineral only. But Yeti, he sniffed out top right. That's exactly where he needs to go and shut down this base. Cannot let Zerg go split map.
See, he does have Nidus. Did he rebuild that Defiler? I didn't see if he had a Defiler or not. Yeah, he's got one. So if he can send that through, maybe that's the way to hold this off. But yeah, I mean, it's a narrow choke point, so it's gonna be hard to get everything down there that you need. There's a ton of High Templar up there, so maybe you just storm your way through.
That's what he's trying to do, but the Lurkers are just so strong, and he doesn't have an observer, so he doesn't know exactly where they are. Good storm so far, but even if he breaks through, it's not like he can really bust in here. What else does he have? He has Templars and 3 Dragoons.
Man, it's a big supply swing. There was about a 50 supply advantage there for Yeti for a while, and now Gordon is just within 15. So, big swing. Nice defense there by Gorynich. Keeps that base alive, and he's managed to like sustain this 6 o'clock base as well. So he's powering off of 5 bases, and he was able to take out Yeti's third base.
Is it just me? But look at the third base of Yeti. Does he have 4 probes on his third base?
Oh my god, why does he only have 4 probes there?
But see, they're not 4 probes. There's 12 probes. They're all stacked up, though, on that one patch.
Oh my god, what? Wait, how is that?
And look at his 4th base. He's not mining there, so we're on 4 base, but we're essentially on like 1.5 mining? What is going on?
I didn't even know you could do that. Yeah, you're right. There's 12 probes mining from 2 mineral patches.
Yeah, what just happened? Like, he's got great... Okay, he's finally fixed the 4th base, but this 3rd base, if I'm him, I'm thinking, well, I just transferred 12 probes. That's perfect. But really, oh my gosh, this is a disaster for him. He's trying to bust through top right, though, but I think that Gorynich just has flat out too much here. He's going to defend it. The Reaver's going down even.
Oh, he's going to snipe that Reaver? Oh man, that was really close to sniping the Reaver. Running the Lurkers forward though, there's a nice burrow. Storm's coming through. The Lurkers do get taken out. So I think finally Yeti might be able to break through here. Link's coming through. They do have Adrenal. They pop the Archon, and oh my god, he's going to lose the Reaver as well. Sick hold again from Gorynich.
Yeah, and the 5th base got denied from Yeti. He's got a lot of links. He needs to get a Defiler over here to the left side if he wants to bust this 4th base. But oh my gosh, this 3rd base. This is so unlucky. I'm so tilted by this.
I'm pretty triggered. Yeah, that's rough. And it could always be a replay bug, so I don't want to make too much out of it. But I'm guessing he sent 12 probes to 1 mineral patch, and the cannon kind of glitched them from redistributing or something. Because usually, you know, they'll fan out and like mine from other places, right?
He just transferred more probes. They're all stuck on that one patch again.
I'm guessing they are actually stuck there. How many? There's like 16 probes at this base.
Oh my gosh. Regardless, Yeti in top right has busted through a little bit, but the Nidus is here, so Gorynich can continuously reinforce the Archon and Zealot. I mean, that's not enough to deal with the Nidus. There's so many Lurkers here, you know that he can send more Lings and Hydras through there. I mean, they're trying to do what they can, but the reality is he can't do anything. And because of this lack of mining, Gorynich has finally taken the supply lead.
So, you know, Tasteless was telling me when he first started to play Brood War, he thought that the optimal way to play was not to mine with a bunch of units at your base so that the base would last longer. And then when your opponent's running out of minerals at his bases, your base actually still has a lot of minerals, so you got the advantage there. Obviously, that's maybe not a popular opinion, but it's certainly going to be true for Yeti here. That base is just going to last forever.
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious to see what happens when that mineral patch goes away. Are they all going to stack on something else? But yeah, this is a heartbreaker for Yeti. He was doing so well. And now there's 2 lurkers at the 4th base. Even they're set up perfectly on the mineral line again, shutting it down. Each lurker has 6 kills. He's got to even bring both of his Reavers over here just to deal with 2 lurkers.
Is this going to be... I don't know what to expect next from Yeti. It feels like he's tried everything. It didn't work out, and so now he's like a little bit lost. He's trying to take this lurker out at the back, and that lurker has been there for like 5-6 minutes. And now that he's tried to deal with it, I feel like all g0rynich has to do is just run every unit he has down to the bottom left. Oh my god, he's going to get on top of the Reavers. He snipes the shuttle. The Reaver's going to go down. He loses 1 Reaver. He's going to lose the 2nd Reaver. Everything here is going to die, and even the Corsairs have to run away. g0rynich is just running away with this game.
Yeah, everything going wrong for Yeti. If we look back at his natural, we don't even really have that many gateway units. We've got 2 Archons, 2 Templar, and a Zealot. So it's not like he can even come back down to bottom left and retake it. He's just going to have to give it up for now. Meanwhile, g0rynich, he's got this 5th base or 6th base coming up at the 3rd base top right. Corsairs are trying to get some damage done, but he's got 9. But again, there's not really any place for him to... Well, I guess there are a few opportunities, but he just hasn't found any Overlords just yet.
Yeah, maybe you run up to the upper right, but you're right, there's just not that many Overlords around here. He's got them all pretty well coalesced in the upper right-hand corner, so those are not going to be... It's not going to be a fun time to be an Overlord, but they're not... he's not losing too many of them. That is a pretty heavy commitment into Corsairs, too. Although it does free up the attention to get these Archons into the 5th or 6th base. That's a lot of drones going down.
Yeah, he is going to take out this base, surprisingly. But here comes g0rynich to try and shut this down. Is there any storm? There's 2 storms available on that 1 Templar. But I don't think these 2 Templars can save the day. Flat out too much.
Nyokin, the mineral patch is about to be mined out by those 16 workers. Just watching the workers split away. There's actually a fight at the same time. I'm just watching that mineral patch, guys. But he's gonna pick off all the High Templar from that army. So
that they just stacked onto 2 other patches. The top right patch in the middle.
He has maybe 35 workers mining from just this base. Thankfully, now they're starting to spread out, so they're starting to like unglitch a little bit. But he still has a full control group mining 1 mineral patch, so killing it.
I mean, Yeti is still in the game somehow, though, so he's doing a good job. Reaver shutting down this base again. Great Reaver harassment so far. Gets the hatchery even, no cancel. But he desperately needs to get a 5th base because this 3rd base, well, I was going to say it's almost mined out, but the reality is since those 2 patches are mined out, the other 6 remain. But yeah, he needs to start thinking about getting another base. Remember, g0rynich has had this island base the whole time, so even though he doesn't have many bases on the ground, this island is coming into play like big time for him.
Yeah, for sure. g0rynich, he's got this giant fleet of Scourge running around here too. Gonna try to come up here and catch either a shuttle or the Corsairs. So now we're into Corsair with Zealot Archon on the ground. It's a pretty solid like mid to late game comp, but only if you have like superior numbers. Like watch, he's trying to run these groups of Hydras over, and the Hydras just pick something off and then run away. Whoa, catches a shuttle! No way! That's so sick. And now what do you have to push through the Dark Swarm here at this attempted 6th base?
Yeah, and g0rynich just reinforced a few lurkers there. Is there even an observer? There is an observer. It's gonna be so hard to bust through. Oh, okay, this observer is dead.
Wow. Okay, well, is there even any storm? Yeah, I guess he's got 3 High Templar with storm, but you're gonna need that odds.
Oh, a devastating storm, getting almost all of the Hydras, but he still can't attack into it. So many Hydras still behind it, more Nidusing in. Oh my gosh, there's just so many coming in through the Nidus. And this is just... Yeti, you got to get this 5th base. There he goes. He's finally taking it. I just don't know what he can do. He just doesn't have the econ at this point to really kill top right, and I feel like g0rynich is going to get that. Then he's going to be all of a sudden back on 4 base mining, and he's just going to explode.
Now, there's one thing that's super popular out here in Korea is I think it was Solkey that really popularized the mid to late game Muta switch, because your opponent realizes, hey, I need splash damage of some sort, and especially if you can whittle down the number of Corsairs, then you can just run a bunch of Mutas in, snipe their High Templar. If you can avoid the Archons, then that's a great way to also harass bases that are close by air, like these southern bases. I don't think we're going to necessarily see that right now because we're just in Hydra spam mode, and it looks like that's good enough. Even though these storms are amazing, there's just too much Zerg. The adrenal gland Zerglings run over everything because there's not enough storm, not enough splash damage, and I think this bottom base is about to just get taken out.
Yeah, that's exactly what it looks like. We look back at the natural. There's just nothing for Yeti to reinforce with. So he's going to have to give up the 5th base. He already canceled the Nexus. g0rynich, like I was expecting, he's just exploding at this point. He's taking the top natural. He's got a bunch of overlords. It does not look like a drop. He's just spreading them out. But Yeti, he just doesn't have the money at this point. There's just too much bank for g0rynich. Or he's going to have too much production. And now he's even going to kill bottom left.
Let's see, there is a Defiler there, so he could just Dark Swarm all those cannons and just run on in. I think that's what he's going to do. It's just a little bit... He's got to remember the order of operations here. Storm's good, but yeah, that Dark Swarm is just going to allow him to just completely overrun this base. I think this is going to be the beginning of the end, or the continuation of the end. For Yeti here, g0rynich really, really killing it.
Yeah, he's also trying to save this base. He's going to save it for now. I don't think g0rynich has another attack incoming just yet, but once he can get up another sizable army, he'll be able to bust that pretty easily. 4th base is essentially mined out. We're down to about 300 minerals on each. The 3rd base is down to 4 patches. He tried to take the Nexus at top middle, but that already got denied. This is just going to be... This is the end of Yeti. He just doesn't have the econ to deal with g0rynich at this point.
Yeah, and even when you look at the supplies, so much of Yeti's supply is just probes. So you got to keep that in mind. Crackling's taking out a couple of the High Templar, moving across the map, so it's going to mean even less storms. Really, really sick pickoffs, and now there's just more Hydras than there are really anything else in the world.
Yeah, these Hydras come down to deny this Nexus. Lings got into the 4th base, shut down a lot of probes. Probes transferring, their Lings are going to get cleaned up. But at this point, it doesn't matter. g0rynich can just send over and over and over and over and over. There's no more storms, only Zealot Archon. And Hydras are just going to shred all of those units.
Well, yeah, I think this is just going to be too much. 6 storms here. Like, honestly, g0rynich hasn't dodged a single storm since I've seen, so maybe all Yeti needs to do is just keep storming, because g0rynich is just going to stand in them. Like, it's... You ever seen the movie 300? It's like, you know, our arrows will blot out the sun. He says, well, we'll fight in the shade. Maybe that's g0rynich's attitude. It's like, you know, if your storms blot out the sun, he's just going to fight underneath them. I don't know if that's a solid strat, but he's been doing it, and it's working, so I can't say too many bad things about it.
Yeah, this has got to be the last stand for Yeti. These are his last remaining army to save the 4th base, but it's not even mining. He's already done a probe transfer. He's trying to get Zealots across the map, but at this point, they're just too weak versus these Zerg units. Ling, Lurker, Hydra. He's trying to put a counterattack, but this base isn't even mining. It's not even really important to g0rynich at this point, so he can leave it or he can lose it. And yeah, g0rynich, he's gonna. I'm pretty sure he's gonna win this game. Yeti, no money left, no gas either, so he can't even spam out Templars.
I think there's not a whole lot left to say. This is truly the most difficult time as a caster. It's like, well, one of these guys has 118 supply and the other has 89, of which maybe 80 of that is probes. So, you know, yeah, it's all over but the crying at this point. We've got a bunch of Zealots that are going to try to look for a magical way to bring this game back under control. I don't think that exists, so good luck. Godspeed, my Zealot bros.
Yeah, Zealots are just running around the map at this point. They can't attack anywhere. They don't know what to do. They're trying to sync up with their brothers at the top, but they're getting picked off by Lings. This has got to be the end from Yeti. Pretty soon he just has nothing left. There's just flat out too much g0rynich. We're going to have a rematch, TT1 versus g0rynich, coming up.
Dude, I'm so hyped for that rematch. I mean, I don't want to call it over. Okay, yeah, it's done. We are out of here. That rematch is going to be so sick because I feel like we saw some really kind of unique strats in that first match, and hopefully these players will have had time to kind of review their replays and you know, learn a little bit more about before they go up against each other. This is like the most anticlimactic. I don't know if this is like have we moved from calling them fantasy GGs to calling them kicks GGs yet? I don't know. Because this is taking a while. There we go. Finally, Yeti. All right, my man. Taps out. Unfortunately, Yeti is eliminated from this group, but g0rynich, congratulations, advances on 2-0 to our final match of the night.
Yeah, and I thought Yeti was playing pretty well. Like, he was taking bases, he had good unit comp, he even got reavers going into the mid game. But then, literally, that probe transfer, everything. Like, no joke, because as soon as we saw the probes actually split up, if you watched his money, he had a big influx of money, and then he actually could use all his gate. And then also remember the DT that got into a drone line and only got 3 kills. Like, it was just not Yeti's day across the board. So, unfortunately, he's going to go down. But to be honest, he didn't even play poorly. It's just luck was not on his side.
Oh yeah, cannon placement also not on his side. A DT getting glitched out by those drones. Ugh. It was kind of a comedy of errors. Not even errors, just accidents.